Hey, what's up guys? Happy New Year. I'm sorry I haven't been around much. I've actually been really sick for the past 3 weeks. I had a flu that turned into pneumonia, and I'm finally kind of getting my lungs back and able to talk without coughing and having a little bit of energy to be able to do this. So I'm sorry I haven't been around much, but I wanted to make an end of the year video kind of wrapping up the best stuff that I found this year. But I actually decided that it'd be better to hear from some other creators that I really like. Tyler, Zach, GoldenSound, PUD, DMS, and Joe. And I wanted to get their take on their favorite headphones this year. They can be from any manufacturer, any price, and from any year. Just whatever they liked in 2024. So I'm gonna hand it off to DMS.
Three headphones, any year, any price, any company. That is tough, but I've got three for you. Of course, I have to throw in the 6XX because it is a classic. It's an incredible value. I think in a lot of ways it competes with flagships, and it's a headphone you can live with forever. You can get replacement parts easy. It's just a killer all-around value. I don't think anybody would disagree with me on that one. But there's got to be two others. I'm going to say the open back and the closed back that were both game changers for me. For closed back, it has to be the DCA E3, which is a headphone I use every single day. It is just so dang neutral. It's comfortable. It isolates well. It just checks every single box. And it's a closed back headphone that is better than the vast majority of open back headphones on the market. But I do have to mention an open back as well, and it is one of the best headphones that has ever been made, and that is this, the Modhouse Tungsten. It's a little bit heavy. That's its biggest downside, but this open back double-sided planar is just out of this world. It's one of the best sounding headphones on the planet, period. And if you have an amp that's got enough power to drive it, which this thing needs voltage more than it needs wattage, then you've got something truly incredible on your hands. Now, you can change out the grills on this thing to get a slightly different treble response. Having these grills on gives it a little bit more treble, having them off gives it less. I've seen people do 3D printed grills for this to make it better match their HRTF, but I've never heard an open back that sounded quite like tungsten. Maybe the HE6, but the HE6 truthfully isn't as good as this. And then here's the frequency response for all three of those headphones. So short and sweet, that's what I got. Thanks Josh for including me. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, and you're welcome. And this year I was actually personally fortunate enough to meet Cameron, otherwise known as GoldenSound, at a audio show. And it was really great to talk to him. We had a walk on the beach, very romantic. And here are his picks for 2024.
Hey everyone, so 2024 saw the release of some pretty interesting new headphones, some of which I did find quite impressive for various reasons. But the headphones that in my own listening I find myself reaching for and wanting to spend time with the most were for the most part actually released prior to 2024. And the one that I want to start off with is the Modhouse Tungsten. This was put out by Ryan at Modhouse Audio, and it is an incredibly good performer for the money. This comes in at about $2,000, and for that much, I genuinely don't think there is a better headphone. This is incredibly neutral, incredibly detailed, and whilst it's incredibly difficult to drive, requiring a huge amount of voltage, not necessarily power, but voltage specifically from your amplifier, if you can drive it, I do not think that there's a better headphone for the money. The spatial presentation on this in particular, the way it's able to separate things and portray things at different distances from you is exceptional, and one of the main reasons why I often prefer listening to this versus something like a Headphone Svara. But sometimes you don't want something neutral, you want something a little colored, you want something a bit different, and that is where the ZMF Atrium comes in. This is a headphone that I, for a while now, have said is probably the headphone I spend the most time with, and that's actually because of some of the ways in which it's not as good as other headphones. This is not a particularly technically capable headphone. I wouldn't even go so far as to call it a massively detailed headphone at all. It's warm, it's colored, but the way that it exaggerates mid-range texture and allows you to get drawn into and really enjoy your music in a way that also doesn't distract you whilst you're listening in the way that a Headphone Svara, for instance, would, means that whilst I'm working, editing, doing something else and wanting to listen to music in the background, these are what I reach for 100% of the time. But sometimes you do want absolutely every last bit of technical performance you can possibly extract whilst still having an impressively realistic sounding vocal and instrument timbre. And if that's you, and if you have a nearly unlimited budget to pay for it, you should have a look at the Warwick Acoustics Apereo GoldenSound Edition. Obviously, this is a project that I and Warwick Acoustics did together, so given as it's got my name on it, take this with the level of skepticism that you deem appropriate. But this takes the existing Apereo platform, which, unlike most other electrostatic headphones, doesn't use a 230 or 580 volt bias. It uses a 1800 volt bias, and then we changed the tuning quite significantly from the original Apereo, moving it towards a real HRTF response, the way in which your head and ears actually modify sound in a real environment, with some careful and deliberate changes to my own taste done on top. And this was all done without any need for assistance from DSP. We developed brand new analog signal processing boards, which allowed us to make some quite complex, precise, and careful changes that simply would not have been possible on any other platform. Obviously, at $38,000, this is well beyond the realm of what is affordable for basically everyone watching, including myself. I do not own one of these, even though the product has my name on it. But if you are in a fortunate enough position to be able to afford one of these, or if you get a chance to come and hear it at CanJam, which you should go and visit, by the way, then I do genuinely believe that this is possibly the best sounding headphone system that you can get.
Now, I don't disagree. It comes with a hefty price tag, but that is a fine headphone system for sure. Another person that I met, actually met a lot of people this year because I finally went to an audio show. Another person I met was Joe from GadgetryTech, another great creator, and I wanted to get his personal take on his top 3 this year, and he has some awesome picks.
Hey, thanks so much, Josh. So when I got asked this, a couple headphones came to mind rather quickly, and after that it actually became kind of difficult simply because there's just been so many amazing headphones that have come out over the years, it's really hard to just pick your favorites. Now, the first pick that came to mind was the Aune AR5000, which says a lot about the headphone considering I reviewed multi-$1,000 headphones this year. Now, I was immediately in love with how light the AR5000 was. It's light, the ear pads are large and very soft, and the clamp force is light. Perhaps too light for smaller heads, but for me it was perfect. Now, thanks to having dual 3.5mm terminals, I was able to add the Meze audio boom mic to it, giving me a truly endgame level gaming headset. Quick shout out to that boom mic because there's a volume wheel and a mute switch, which is awesome for both gaming and conference calls for work, so I love that too. Now, I like this for long listening sessions as well, just because it's comfortable and not just physically. The sound profile is really detailed, but it's not fatiguing to listen to, which is incredibly important. The imaging performance is frankly just ridiculous. If you have a fetish for combat boots and you just want to hear them in game when you're playing FPS, this is your guy. So let's inject some emotion into this video and talk about the ZMF Caldera. This has a special place in my heart because this is what I show people when I'm trying to get them into audio in general. And I've made several people tear up. Brian over at Bad Seed and 2 of my family members have gotten pretty emotional listening to this headphone. It's just special, and the Caldera is definitely a flagship product. It's an open back planar that is several $1,000s, but you can customize it both from a finish, the ear pad, and even the cable. Now, this is effectively one of my favorite headphones of all time, and it's not because it's like reference level or truly neutral sound. It has a little bit of coloration to it, but for a planar, it has incredible dynamics and bass punch, while also having a really good sound stage and not sacrificing a lot of the tonality and timbre that a lot of people like in the mid-range. It is colored a little bit, but I think it's enough to make it special, and thanks to these gargantuan magnets on the planar magnetic drivers, it takes EQ well too, so if you want a little bit more of a bass punch, the Caldera is going to deliver that. After that, I really couldn't pick a third. There are amazing headphones that I covered, like the 105 Air from Meze Audio, which is a very luxurious headphone, and I think it's gorgeous, and then the Sennheiser 490 Pro with swappable pads, so it kind of fits a lot of use cases, both from build quality and comfort as well. Now, of course, you have incredible headphones like the HiFiMan Sasfara Unveiled. I like those. This is just what stood out to me and what came to mind for making this video. So I do cover a lot of this in depth on my own YouTube channel. Josh will have a link in the description below. But with that being said, Josh, thank you so much for having me. Back to you.
Thanks, Joe. You know, another person that I met at the same show as Cameron and Joe was PUD. Now, PUD is actually a guy who just started a YouTube channel, and in my opinion is one of the breakout creators in this year. It really stands out as being very unique, and the dude is hilarious. So without further ado, here's PUD.
Hey Josh, thanks for having me on your video to talk about my top 3 headphones of the year. Number 1, my newest headphone, the HiFiMan HE1000 Unveiled. I first heard this at CanJam SoCal, and it totally blew me away. I pre-ordered it immediately, and I am not disappointed. My wife is a little disappointed when I drop these in the middle of the night and they go clank on the ground. But other than that, these things sound amazing. I like the way they look, and they fit great. The second headphone I'm gonna share, my Stax X9000. I listen to a lot of different headphones, but there's just something that keeps me coming back to these. I've had them for a bit now. When I really just wanna get lost in the music and just sail away to La La Land, these are the headphones that I put on. I don't put them on all the time, but when I do, it's just an amazing experience. And these headphones are almost perfect in my opinion, but the problem is sometimes you just want a little more bass. And that brings me to the third headphone I'm gonna share. It's not really a headphone at all. It's a wearable subwoofer that works with any headphone. I call it the bass medallion. You simply put on the bass medallion, then you put on your favorite headphones, then you plug your source into a headphone splitter. One side you plug into your headphones, the other side you plug into the bass medallion. You plug the bass medallion into power, adjust the volume and crossover to taste. You know, they say the problem with headphones is you can't feel the bass in your chest. I disagree completely. With a 100-watt amplifier, 6-inch high excursion subwoofer, and I dropped all my crap. 170mm custom Tagoni chest pad. This thing kicks. Now, Josh, the bass medallion pairs exquisitely with these 5.1 surround sound headphones I made. I call them Dolbus and made a 5.1 surround sound headphone DAC amp. But Josh, I don't know if your audience is ready for quite this level of audio fidelity just yet.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's really ready for that, honestly, but I would put it on my head for sure. And then there's Tyler, who has his own YouTube channel, Tyler Eclectic. Tyler is actually a personal friend of mine as well as a content creator. I'd highly recommend checking everybody's channel out, but definitely drop Tyler a follow down below.
All right, Josh, thanks for having me on. These are my top 3 headphones for the year. This is not in any particular order, just my top 3 favorite headphones that I listened to this year and or most used headphones. The ETA Ada is what I'm starting off with. There's no particular order in this mashup of 3. It's just my top 3 used headphones. So ETA Ada, mid-centric, has this horn on the back for the sound signature, really dope. Nice lows, fantastic headphone. ETA, these guys are doing some really cool things. They're a very passionate group of guys doing some really cool stuff. So go check them out. Highly recommend. They usually sell out really fast whenever they drop a new headphone. Going into the second thing will be the Hi-Fi for All Dahlia. That thing is fantastic. I did a video about it. I love it. I can't wait to get one back in. I do not have one here, so I'm going to probably paste one of my photos over my lovely mug here in all my lovely purple. But anyways, that thing is great. All-arounder, just stupid good. Like, I love that thing. Fantastic headphone. Nick's doing a fantastic job with that. On to my probably most used headphone this year is the lovely Bokeh from ZMF. And shocker, I know, but yeah, this thing is just stupid good. Love the Bokeh. It's just fantastic headphone, and is my most used headphone this year for sure. And I just love it. This thing is a beautiful headphone. Looks beautiful, sounds beautiful. Highly recommend if you get the chance to listen to them, to go listen to them, because it's hard to explain how good these are without actually getting your ears on them, so, or in them, or whatever. Anyways, thanks for having me, and I guess I'll talk to you later. All right, Josh, have a good one. Thanks.
Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Now, there's a person whose headphones have actually been mentioned quite a bit in this video. Nobody was scripted or told to do that, and he's actually the creator of one of my favorite headphones that I found this year, the Bokeh Closed, and it's Zach with ZMF. And he actually owns his own YouTube channel as well, which is why I decided to include him on this. Again, there's links to everybody's YouTube channel down below, but here's Zach.
Hey guys, Zach from ZMF here. Thanks Josh for having me on this. People always ask me what ZMFs I'm using a lot. Right now, it's always the latest thing because it's the most exciting to me. Caldera closed, Bokeh Open closed, those just came out, but that's boring. It's not exciting. I just love the Elite. It's got such soft pads, beautiful design. The machining around the grill is just beautiful. It feels so good on the head. I think it's resolving enough to be analytical and atmospheric and ambient enough to let you kind of chill if you want to listen to something for a long time. So that's right at the top for me. Second, I got the Sennheiser HD800s. I don't have the S version. I'm sure I need to get one. Maybe that's a New Year's resolution for me, get an HD800S this year. Got these with the ZMF lambskin pads on them, which kind of chill them out a little bit. But if you haven't heard one of the high impedance Sennheisers on an OTL amp, go find an old HD800, maybe mod it a little bit, put it on an OTL. I think you'd be pretty happy with that. It's a pretty sweet headphone. Soundtrack music, I love the Secession soundtrack by Nicholas Britell, stuff like that. Atmospheric, you know, orchestral stuff, amazing. And then a little bit of a shameless plug, I'm part owner of this company, Dark Matter Audio Labs. I just got these like a month ago and I've been obsessed with them. It's I think a 3-driver. It's a hybrid IEM with dynamic and balanced armature drivers. This hybrid IEM, I think it's gonna be easily under $1,000. I've had a lot of custom IEMs in the last few years, and these are right at the top for me, and I'm very biased, but I love the way they sound. I love the way Dave tunes things. If you haven't had a custom IEM before, something maybe to try in 2025, I'll let you guys go. Josh, this was awesome. I feel like I got something off my chest, and I feel more free. 2025 is gonna be a great year. All right, see you guys.
Now I want to send a big thank you for everyone helping to make this video. I know it's a difficult time of year to kind of scrape some time out to make a video like this, especially for another channel like mine. And I really genuinely appreciate it, especially being sick these past few weeks. I haven't been able to do much. So I genuinely appreciate you guys coming out for this video. Thank you. Now, if you are curious about my personal picks, I actually have a full video that I just released at the beginning of December titled My Favorite Headphones at Every Price. I'll drop a link to that below as well. I'm also gonna link the headphones that had multiple creators mention them down in the description as well. So thanks again, everybody who was on this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.